Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Screen Scene Guru. Today I'll be discussing a movie review. This is for Joseph Kosinski's F1. I've watched it. I thought it was a fantastic movie. A really good racing film. It came out in June of this year, 2025, and I waited to get the physical media, which is awesome. It had a great soundtrack. I do want to go into it real quick. This is Brad Pitt's producer. He was a producer on this. It also has Damson Idris and a whole lot more talented actors and actresses in it. Real quick, I do want to go into the IMDb. So let's go into here. A Formula One driver comes out of retirement to mentor a team and a young driver. So really awesome backstory, similar to how it talks about it was Top Gun Maverick director coming back to do this. It is available to rent or buy on Prime Video, and also, of course, you can get it the physical media of it. I highly recommend. They got the DVD, Blu-ray 4Ks at Walmart. So really awesome stuff here. It also comes with the special features inside of F1. The APGPX, making of Silverstone, Lewis Hamilton producer. So yeah, really cool behind the scenes. Sunny Hayes is the most promising phenomenon. So yeah, really interesting movie. Definitely check it out. Some of the other people in it. Javier Bardem is the team owner. He's on the board for them, trying to get Sunny to revitalize this team after they've fallen behind a bit. Carrie Conan plays a really good engineer for their team, as well as we've got Sarah Niles, who plays Joshua's mom in the UK. They travel to the UK. I really like the team that they have for putting together the cars. So yeah, really awesome movie. I do want to talk about how it was a little bit longer than I kind of expected it to for a racing movie. It took its time explaining, the universe of F1, the sport, because this was an introduction to it. If you guys haven't seen Ford versus Ferrari or a lot of other racing movies, this was, intended to get the mass audience, and I think it accomplished that job. It was an Apple TV original movie, but it was distributed through Warner Brothers, so that was an interesting phenomenon we saw. And I do believe Joseph Kosinski wants to do a sequel to F1 as well. A lot of people are speculating they'll bring in Tom Cruise from Days of Thunder to do a sequel to that, where they Sunny Hayes and Tom Cruise's character meet and potentially race. So that'd be really cool. It seems like Brad Pitt's trying to build himself up to be a Dominic Toretto figure. So that's really interesting as well. Like I said, 2 hours, 35 minutes is a long runtime for them to put in this big story, but I think they accomplished that. I didn't really foresee the rivalry between Damson Idris and Brad Pitt from the trailers, at least. They steered heavily away from that, but it was a contributing factor in the movie, which I liked. But yeah, I think it would be really cool to see Damson Idris potentially in Black Panther 3, Shadows of Wakanda. That's been speculated by Ryan Coogler. Real quick, I do want to get into some book news, guys, because I have been reading Star Wars book this year. I've already gotten through the first one, Heir to the Empire, on to book 2, Dark Force Rising, and I'm on chapter 13, guys. Really exciting stuff here from the Timothy Zahn trilogy with Thrawn. They discuss, Leia is on the Nagori homeworld, trying to get their higher leadership to go with her to side with the Alliance, and they basically take her to this ceremonial room, and they discuss the history of the Nagori. During the Battle of the Empire and the Alliance, there was a ship that crashed, an Alliance older ship, which leaked chemicals onto their planet, devastating their world. And then Lord Vader came to their planet, and the Empire offered the gray-skinned aliens resources to help combat this environmental disaster, and Darth Vader became their savior on this planet. The Alliance was unaware this natural disaster occurred. They didn't offer help because they didn't know about it. So it's very interesting that Leia is coming out to do this negotiation talks, and the counselors are basically telling her, it's too dangerous for you to be here. You need to go. Maybe peace can come at a later time. And then Thrawn's chimera appears over the temple. So very interesting stuff happening in Chapter 13. We're hopefully going to get back to Han and Lando soon, and awesome stuff going on there with their trade routes and their, this newfound militia they've come upon. Luke hopefully is going to come around and face off with that Dark Jedi, so we're looking forward to that. But real quick, I do want to go into some movie news. So we've got Rob Mack will star in a Far Cry series at FX, which I covered last week. I talked about Far Cry being an FX series now. It's going to be coming out through Noah Hawley, the Alien Earth director. Blumhouse talked about their next project with The Exorcist, and Scarlett Johansson being the lead, and potentially Jenna Ortega joining on as the script is being developed. AJ Lee revealed that she is working on a new project for toy animation, people that came out with Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball, other iconic animes. Netflix One Piece Season 3 has officially started production, which is really good. Ryan Johnson Star Wars trilogy officially is canceled over there at Lucasfilm, which I kind of have a feeling that after the divisiveness of Last Jedi, I would think they wouldn't give him a trilogy. He has some more projects coming out right now with Knives Out 3, Wake Up Dead Man. I'm hearing it's really good. And also his, I believe it's Poker Face series was canceled from Peacock, but it got renewed at Paramount with Peter Dinklage. So some very interesting stuff happening on TV with Ryan Johnson. But his Star Wars trilogy is done, 86th. Wicked for Good is getting praise in the box office, of course, but critics all around. They're saying it's the biggest Universal Studio opening of 2025. Writers and composers of Wicked are talking about a third film, possibly without the leading witches, Glinda or Alphaba. Just a story of Oz and what happens there. I also heard about how Gwen Stefani and her religious studio over at ABC wants to make a family values Dorothy series, which I'm not exactly sure how that will land. But apparently we're going to get our first look at Supergirl in the first week of December. They're going to have their CCXP in Brazil, which is really awesome, guys. Fantastic stuff happening there. Hopefully we'll get some images of lanterns as well in their full practical costumes. They're going the route of Superman, and they're not using CGI or fake products. They're trying to use real suits and then layer them with some more visuals. We've got Star Trek Academy adds Becky Lynch to the cast of Academy, which is really funny that I've been watching Star Trek this year on Paramount Plus. They just recently started putting ads out for the Academy, coming out in January. I'm really excited about this. I'm hoping the writing style will get better than the previous series we've had since Discovery started and Strange New Worlds. I like those shows, but not the writing of them. So, let's see. Scrubs was renewed. It's coming back February 2026 on ABC Hulu. So they finally got that contract with the writer, the creator of Scrubs, who historically he tried to take his show elsewhere, and Disney had the contract saying we could only make it through us, and they paid him enough money to bring back all the actors to do a Scrubs revival, which is really cool. Eva Green was cast as Aunt Olivia, or Ophelia, in Wednesday Season 3. I still haven't caught up on Wednesday on Netflix. I do need to catch up on Wednesday. I need to catch up on Stranger Things, because Season 5, Part 1, the first 4 episodes are out. Have you guys watched them yet? Let me know in the comments down below. chloezhao was recently talking at the Hamnet premiere about how she wants to do an Eternals 2 because she's still interested and invested in those characters. Toby Wallen to star in Netflix Assassin's Creed based on the game is happening. Assassin's Creed is being adapted, so that's really fun. The Hannibal creator, Brian Fuller, gives a hopeful update on Season 4, that we could be getting a final season to Hannibal, which is awesome. In a Variety interview, Macaulay Culkin talked about how he wants to return to the Home Alone franchise as a legacy character. So that's really cool. Macaulay Culkin is going to be in our Fallout Season 2 as a Centurion. So he's coming back to acting in Fallout, which is really cool. And now he's talking about Home Alone stuff, because they did do a trailer, a teaser, ad a couple years ago with him in it, which was fun. Scary Movie 6 is wrapped, done filming, guys. It is now due to be released June 12th in 2026. So this next upcoming year is full of films coming out. I've posted recently on my Instagram and Threads, TikTok. I've done some gaming posts about Battlefront 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2. I've recently gotten into it, and it's been awesome. So be sure to check that love out on the TikToks. But yeah, I also wanted to talk about QVC, the jewelry selling company, which was basically always on cable, has now exclusively moved to TikTok, and it is doing very well for them, selling not just jewelry, but online clothing and other products you might use, like cleaning materials. So that's very interesting. The Macy's Thanksgiving Parade happened due to Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I hope you had a wonderful time with your family, relatives, friends. Then, of course, we've got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle situation. So, originally, the idea was that Seth Rogen was going to do, or is it Seth Green? Seth Rogen was going to do all of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies, the animated Mutant Mayhem. And he did one, and then he did a TV special, which was like a holiday television thing. And so far, we don't know when we're going to get another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But hopefully, if they team up with him again, we'll get another project. But so far, there isn't anything in the slates or announced. Tron Ares is going to drop on digital December 2nd. Pluribus is exploding after its 5th episode on Apple TV. Of course, Coke Island is happening. Curse of Oak Island, which I caught up on the last 3 episodes, which were pretty cool. They've fallen into the Solution Channel, which is this basically huge underwater lake under the island, which they believe all this treasure has fallen down into. Very exciting stuff. I'm probably going to do another video on that, my TV picks. Just like how Welcome to Derry is doing gangbusters for HBO Max. It's already been renewed for season 2 and 3. But right now we're wrapping up the first season. New poster for 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, just hit the internet, and I posted about it on my Instagram and Threads, if you guys are looking. Let's see. Alien Resurrection was 28 years old. Crazy to think that 4th Alien film, the one with Winona Ryder as an android, smoking android, is 28 years old. Rush Hour 4 was recently greenlit by the President of the United States, apparently claiming that we need true cinema to return, an order from on high. We got our first teaser for the HBO presentation of Lanterns. Not the full audience got to see it, but they showed execs at Warner Brothers the first look of the TV show, and apparently they were very impressed. Also, Star Wars news, guys. So here, let me get a little thing to hold my book in place. I do want to get out my... Alrighty. So Star Wars news update, guys. Turn off the sound real quick. We found out that The Mandalorian and Grogu, Jon Favreau, director, confirmed that we are going to be getting the movie coming in May of 2026. They haven't moved the date, thankfully. Let me see if I can turn this on without sound. You gotta be quick about it because you gotta turn it off without sound. But anyway, Jon Favreau said the season 4 scripts are in fact still on his desk. We thought for a long time, this is speculation going back 2 years ago, that the scripts for season 4 most likely are going to be turned into a movie and we're not going to get season 4. Well, Jon Favreau just came out on Instagram and in an interview recently said that he still has the scripts on his desk waiting to be made into a live action series. But they're letting this movie go forward, and they're hoping that if this movie does well, they'll spin off of Mandalorian and Grogu, and they'll eventually make an Ahsoka movie, which I was really surprised to hear that. Ahsoka is going on to do season 2, but they teased that she could show up in a film. And then they talked about a Thrawn trilogy, which is basically the books that I'm reading right now. Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire, Dark Force Rising, Last Command. That would be the Thrawn trilogy they're talking about, which is really fun and exciting for Star Wars fans. But yeah, interesting to see where Star Wars is going to go after Ahsoka Season 2, because there are no more live-action projects. They're just cartoon features. But, Vision Season 3 just dropped, and a lot of other things. Star Wars Tales of the Underground, which I still haven't caught up on. But apparently Anna Taylor-Joy said she wants to play Ventress live action, which would be very interesting to hear or see about. But yeah, what do you guys think about all this Star Wars news that you're hearing about? Going on from there, Palm Royal returns to Apple TV with the season 2, so that's pretty cool. Palm Royal was a pretty infamous series when Apple TV first started, along with the morning show. Another really cool pick is Landman Season 2 is on Paramount Plus. You guys should check that out. I haven't started this new season yet, but I've heard it's gotten several episodes in, which is really good. So talked about Pluribus. Dick Cheney unfortunately passed, which led to a lot of people saying he was, the head of this dark, shadowy government. Not sure if I totally believe in all that, but there was a lot of clandestine stuff happening in the early 2000s that the public was not aware of. We're now coming to light. So yeah, I talked about Lanterns having more practical suit, more realistic, kind of like how Guy Gardner was just wearing a jacket with the Green Lantern logo on it. Leather jacket, very realistic. And then they CGI'd, all the Green Lantern scenes, of course. John Watts was originally supposed to direct Fantastic Four, the Spider-Man director, but unfortunately he had to walk away. He had to do the Skeleton Crew series for Star Wars, which I liked very much, Jude Law in Star Wars, but I felt like the series kind of ended in a waif. We weren't sure if it was canon or what was going on with that holodeck scene, or not holodeck, the sequence where it ended with the kid watching the tablet, and the tablet retailed stories of the children. We were like, is this an old tale or a new tale? We weren't sure. Well, apparently they were going to have another director direct Fantastic Four before they actually got Matt Shackman which did WandaVision and the other Disney Plus series, which I liked. Fantastic Four, I just felt like it could have been a bit stronger, maybe, that opening sequence where they showed everything off. They were going to direct, or they were going to have the people from Zombieland direct Fantastic Four, and they chose not to do it because they didn't trust them. And now, of course, the Zombieland people have gone off from Disney to work on, I think it's Universal or another studio, it might be Sony, the Now You See Me, Now You Don't franchise, which it was never really a big franchise, but they're going off from there to do another Zombieland. They're doing a Zombieland 3 out by 2028, they're saying, which is really exciting news. And they said basically screw off Disney because they didn't approve their film. But Legacy of Monster, Wyatt Russell is supposed to lead a new series, a prequel to Monarch Legacy of Monsters, which is kind of funny. They're going even further back in the timeline because they kind of started this with Kong Skull Island, which I was a big fan of. Kong Skull Island. It's got Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson, John Goodman, all these people. Even frickin' not Will Smith. I was going to say Will Smith. Oh, geez, what is his name? Samuel Jackson. Yes, okay. And I like that historical biopic kind of movie, but interesting that they keep going back in the shows to tell us more historical documentation of these cryptos and humanity meeting from Inner Earth. And I'm really excited to go into that show. You know, Monarch did get renewed for season 2, but the fact that they're doing this prequel series tells me they're very invested in it, leading up to Godzilla x Kong Supernova, which we're still getting a movie. But yeah, really interesting stuff there. That was it for my movie news, guys, and all the topics I have to discuss. So be sure to like the video, comment down below what your thoughts are, if there are any stories you haven't heard yet, if I'm breaking them here for you. What do you guys think of F1? Did you like it? Let me know down in the comments. You guys can follow me, not just here on YouTube. I've made like over 300 videos here, and I'm still at 82 subscribers, so you can really support me by sharing the love and joining my pages on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads. Come on down to say hi or check out some of my movie clips. I do record some of my bonus features that I like to check out and share with the audience, all you guys and gals. But until next time, this is me signing off. Have a good one, and I'll catch you in the next video. Alrighty. Bye-bye.